Welcome back, everybody. How are you all doing? We are coming back with more Secrets of Sarmanath. So, the five of you have finally decided that you wish to leave the town of Sarmanath and head back into the Cave of the Elementals up on the Amber Peak. So, you gather your stuff together, taking what you can off of the cart, as you are well aware that bringing the cart up the winding mountain pass to the cave is going to be difficult to nigh impossible.
And down a mine shaft is going to be
And down a mine shaft will be hard as well, yes.
Yeah. Before we leave town, can we buy a couple, probably like a whole shit ton of rope and some climbers kits to make it easier?
I have everything we need for a climber's kit. I have 6 pittons, I have 50 feet of hempen rope on top of the 30 feet that I spawned with, and I got the hammer. Is there anything else we need?
I'm going to assume we're going to need more than 6 pittons.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
you can definitely buy it. You wander your way through the merchant quarter, the hawking of wares and things. You eventually come across a store selling all of the wares, the general wares that you need. Just your general mercer here. You can buy. You're looking for pythons specifically?
No, I was looking for a climber's kit.
A climber's kit.
I think I skipped that last time because I didn't have any money and it was expensive for me.
Yeah. All right. You want a kit with everything in it.
I think there's a climber's kit. I'm pretty sure.
There is a climber's kit.
There is a climber's kit. I just gotta find it. I'm gonna have to like find it in my books. Forget a price for it. What is the price for all of these kits? They're different, aren't they?
I kind of just want to say, okay, Google, how much is a climber's kit? But she's going to give me a real one.
Right.
Well, then you just divide by
no,
100.
Climber's kit is 25 gold pieces and weighs 12 pounds.
Nice. There you go. 25 gold pieces. What is in it?
Do we all want one?
Hold on. It includes special pittons, boot tips, gloves, and a harness. You can use the climber's kit as an action to anchor yourself. And when you do, you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself. And you can't climb more than 20 feet without...
It's literally not in the book.
It's in the player's handbook.
No. In the player's handbook, there is a burglar's pack, a diplomat's pack, a dungeoneer's pack, a tanner's pack, explorer's pack, priest pack, scholar's pack.
It's not a pack. It's not under pack. It's under the normal equipment. Like, if you look on the left side of the packs. It's left side of the dungeoneers, right?
Do we all
so it
want
doesn't
one?
look like it comes with rope. So you could spend 25 GP and you can get all the pythons and gloves and harnesses that you want. But you're gonna have to buy the rope separate. It looks like.
The rope will be separate.
Will the climber's kit even really do that much for us? Because the mine shaft was not like a smooth surface, right? It was like it was like there were a lot of handholds and things that you could climb in that, assuming you had like a rope to tether yourself.
It's more the safety thing of if you fall, you don't fall 60 feet. And
that's what the rope is for.
You gotta anchor the rope to something.
We really just need harnesses, right? Yeah, and then we can anchor it to something at the top of the shaft.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we just need like 4 harnesses. We don't need a full kit. We just need 4 harnesses.
You will remember that this
is the most important part.
This was like a multiple 100-foot shaft.
Yeah, that's what I was
we need a lot of rope.
The climber's kit gives you boot tips, gloves, a harness, and some special pythons. Like, the harness is clearly like the vast majority of that 25 gold pieces.
Well, I'll fish it out. We all have a climber's kit.
Okay.
And I will buy extra 200 feet. Oh, no. Another 150 feet of rope.
Okay.
Did you guys give Gorik any money for the last quest or no?
Yeah, you got 95 gold.
Okay.
Wait, did we divide it 5 ways? Yeah, we did. We did.
Yes, you did divide it 5 ways.
We're all buying our own.
But before he did, he spent some. That's why you only got 95.
It's all Dan's fault. It's all Dan's fault.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, no, I listened to the episode, Sean.
All right,
I know who's
so
fault it is.
150 feet of rope's gonna ring you 3 gold pieces. You just want 4 harnesses.
I think we're buying the climbers kits.
You want the
said
climbers
he-
kits. So you want
Yeah,
4
I'll buy
climbers
the
kits.
whole kit.
So that's 103 gold at the end of the day
Done.
to kit everyone out.
If we buy 4 harness or 4 climbers kits, will they throw in the rope?
Sure. Yes. You negotiate successfully with the merchant, and he will gladly take his 100 GP and throw in some rope.
Yeah, I had a feeling he might.
Yeah. Yeah. Your barter check, excellent. Well rolled.
Is it only 100, not 125? We aren't all buying one.
Because Millman already has stuff,
Millman,
right,
okay.
on his character, so he just needs the 4 for y'all.
Okay. Millman, you're gonna have to carry it for me. I can't.
I've already got it. It's fine.
Perfect. Awesome.
All right. So, you spend some time in the market that morning buying harnesses and pythons and boots and gloves and preparing to make your way down this mine shaft. You begin heading back up the mountain. Millman, Sambar leading the way as he is a outlander and knows the perfect windings of the mountains that he has been before. You make good progress, and by about midday, you begin climbing the road up to where you know this cave to be. As you do so, you get close enough, you begin hearing bug-like scuttling sounds as you approach the cave. And as you round the corner, the 5 of you see a large plated insectoid just standing outside of the entrance to the cave. It looks a little bit like this. It stands roughly 10 to 12 feet tall, or like long. It is only about 6 feet off the ground, but the length of the creature standing up would be about that. It is plated and has long, kind of protruding talons coming out of its mouth, along with its 6-legged what are those things? I don't know. It looks like a big-ass bug. And as you approach, you hear it crunching and eating, and it seems to be chewing on some of these black and gemstone-looking things in its mouth, as just sitting outside of the cave.
Okay, I'm going to shoot it in its mandibles.
Okay, and combat.
I was gonna say, as Sambar like pulls out his bow, and I was gonna be like, "Do you think it's aggressive?" Oh shit!
All right, Sambar has declared combat. Please roll to hit with your surprise round here. You can have advantage to strike this creature.
I am using that new bow because I don't know what it does
Okay.
as a character, but I'm just gonna roll to hit it. Sure, sharpshooter is on.
From a game standpoint, Millman, have you attempted to attune to it and see if that's what makes it magic?
I don't know how that works. I'm just a simple boy from a simple grass village. 24.
24. Your 24 does in fact hit. Please roll damage.
Like Greg has to tell us. It does in fact hit. If it didn't hit, we're turning around.
All right. It takes 15 points of damage, and with that, it drops the blackened kind of gemstone quality from its mouth, rears up its ugly head to you and chitters. And let's roll some initiative. It's combat time.
Mine's 12.
All right, excellent. This thing has no dex, so there we go. It rolls an 8. Rose with a 3. Janlar with an 18. Tom with a glorious 2. Sambar with an 11. Goric, nowhere to be found.
I rolled before Sambar took his
You
shot.
rolled before Sambar. You were jumping the gun. All right,
Yeah,
excellent.
I was ready for. I actually thought you were going to have us roll initiative when he shot, but you gave us a surprise round.
All right, so Janlar, you're the first to react as the creature is struck through its mandible, has an arrow protruding from it, it's chittering wildly at the the 5 of you. What do you do?
I'm gonna cast Ray of Sickness at this thing, but I'm gonna do so as a 2nd level spell.
Ooh, up in the power level. All right, please roll to hit.
Unlimited power.
Unlimited power.
Which I'm assuming a 19 hits.
19 does hit, yes. Your yellowish ray blasts out, even larger and more sickly looking than before, striking it. Please roll some damage for me.
So it's a 2d8 plus an additional 1 for each. Yeah.
16. Holy crap. All right. You shoot this sickly beam at it. You see the like color in its scales gray away, and just they turn this nasty ashen color where the light touches them. The whole like creature slumps forward, and it just looks drained and old and ugly. But it still is breathing and alive.
It also needs to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, excellent. Yes, that is
Or
true.
be poisoned.
It is a 14. Does that pass?
Actually, I don't think so. Let me see.
What's your spell save?
I think it went up 1 because of we leveled, right?
It's your
Your
proficiency.
yeah, it should.
intelligence plus your proficiency bonus.
Bonus went up.
Oh, our proficiency bonus went up?
At level
At
5.
level
so
5,
it's
yeah.
8 plus 3 plus 4.
Yeah. 11.
It's 15.
plus
All right, it fails. It is poisoned. Yeah, it is poisoned. Okay. Poisoned.
That means it has disadvantage on its attacks, I believe.
Excellent. Let's give it a nice little poisoned moniker. All right.
Until my next turn.
Awesome.
Next turn.
Anything else you're doing with your turn, Janlar?
No, sir.
Awesome. So, with that, it comes around to Goric. You're behind this rock. You see this burst of sickly light erupt from Janlar and weaken the creature in front of you. It's skittering and screeching quiets when you do.
Does it look like badly injured yet, or is it still pretty tanky?
It looks like it has been... It looks really rough. Like, the injury from the arrow doesn't seem to do much to it, but it just looks visibly gross and weak, and it looks like the sickening light of Janlar has really taken a lot out of it.
Okay. I will cast. I'll just hit it with the Sacred Flame. So it needs to make a Dex save.
All right, Dex save. It crits that.
Natural 20.
Yeah.
It takes no damage.
No damage. You're the light of the grave erupts around it, and it out of the corner of its eye just kind of sees it. It senses this eruption of light, and all of its limbs force itself off the ground away from it. It jumps away from your pale dark light. Anything else you want to do, Goric?
Nah, that's all I'll do for now.
All
I'll stay
right.
behind this rock.
Excellent. That leads us to Sambar.
Yep.
You have struck this thing with your bow once. You've seen it be sickened by your friends. It danced away from some light. What do you do?
All right, I'm gonna do for cinematic effect. I tumble over the rock and I move forward a bit.
All
and
right.
then I'm gonna put another arrow in it.
All right, you do a tumble over the rock, come rolling up to a stop, fire your bow. For a 13, your bow is true, but it glances off this plated hide of the creature and seems to deal no additional damage to it.
Ah, shit neck. So skeleton, die, you foul beast!
All right, you taunt it some, and that is the end of your turn?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. That brings us to this creature's turn. It once again picks itself up on all of its 6 legs. It begins skittering and chittering again, this time in a call out for aid. And burrowing out of the rocks to your right, You see a cascade of rubble as another one of its friends just erupts from the ground, breaking apart the earth in front of you. It rears up on its thorax, getting its head above you, and sprays a discharge of greenish poison across you. It is a 30 feet long, 5 feet wide line, so it's going to shoot at the three of you here.
Do I have cover from this rock right here?
You three here get poisoned. Tom, you are not in the line of poison.
Do I get cover from?
Oh, it's a line, not a cone.
It is a line, so you three here are going to get poisoned. So I want all of you to make a DC 13 Dex saving throw for half damage.
Nope.
Woo. The old man does not nimbly jump out of the way.
No, he does not.
I think I didn't
Alright.
roll.
I
Oh,
didn't
normal.
pass
There we go.
If I didn't pass mine.
50.
No.
All right, so for those of you above a 13, you take half. The rest of you take 11 points of poison damage from the spray across from you. This one up here ceases its chittering, and it is going to rush its way forward to Sambar as you've gotten close enough to it. It
We take
rears
5 or
up.
16. Sorry.
You take half, so that'd be 5. It slashes its mandibles at you, attempting to rend into your flesh. This is at +5. For 20 to hit you, I'm assuming
that
hits. Yeah, alrighty. You are smaller, so you are caught up in its mandibles. It slashes into you, and you will take
Please roll low.
2d6 plus 1d6. So you take 8 points of slashing damage as the mandibles crush into you, and then an additional 4 as its poison seeps into your body. You are also considered grappled by the creature, its mandibles crushing into you and biting you. And that is their turn. That brings us to Rose. You see this creature jump up, spray you with poison that you dodge a little bit of. Your friend is mandibled together. What do you do?
I would like to cast Fairy Fire so it only hits the giant insect. So it needs to make a dex save.
All right, dex save for the insectoid here.
Which one are you using it on?
The one that just attacked us.
Okay.
That fails.
Nice.
So
Well, it's outlined with Fairy Fire.
perfect. Glittering mass of violets and pinks and reds and greens and blues erupt around this creature in a box, and it is outlined in these hues, making it easy to strike. Anything else with your turn, Rose?
I'm going to... This is a really bad spot to be in if it sprays again, but I'm just gonna walk backwards. Can I walk past Jenla? I guess that's possible, right?
Yeah. And I probably
So I'm
would have
gonna-
slid back a little bit when we were dodging out of the way or whatever.
Right, I'm gonna move over here, and I will, as a bonus action, prepare some magical pebbles in case I need to use them for the next round.
All right, you pick up some magical pebbles. Excellent. That brings us to Tom. What are you doing?
Okay. So this one was fairy fired?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
In that case, I'm going to use Scorching Ray and shoot flaming bolts at this thing.
Perfect.
So it's going to have 3 attacks with a 12, a 21, and a 26. That's a crit.
Yeah, the 26 crits. That 21 hits. The 12 does not. The 12 kind of reflects off of one of its scaly little
It takes
segments.
19 points of fire damage.
Woo! That's a lot of fire damage. All right.
Is that doubling for the crit?
Yeah. Which technically applies to spells, I found out, because
Yes, it
anything
does.
with an attack roll can crit.
Yes, yes, it does.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
It erupts
26
in
purple.
fire and is
Yeah.
burning.
Got it. Okay.
And takes 19 points of damage. It cries out in its chittering cry.
I was thinking it was 3d6,
Anything else with
not
the rest of your turn there, Tom?
I could do, yeah, as a bonus action, I'm going to throw up, no, I'm not, I don't have it memorized, never mind.
All
Nope,
right.
that's it.
Perfect. Goric, it is your turn. No, it is not. It is Janlar's turn. Janlar, you've been sprayed with poison. You see this thing outlined in fairy fire around you. What do you do?
Can I attack the one that's hitting Sandbar without having any trouble hitting him with like a ranged spell attack? Because you said they're grappled, right?
Yeah, he is considered grappled. This is a large creature, though, that hasn't grappled. You could still attack it without hitting your friend. So says 5e.
I'm gonna step forward a little bit here, get behind this rock, and cast Ray of Frost.
All right. Roll to hit, please. With advantage, I believe, right? Because of the poison?
No, not that one. The one attacking. I'm attacking the one attacking the Sandbar.
Your poison... Oh, it's the other way.
It's
Okay.
poison.
Yeah, so 19 hits.
Wait, did it get disadvantage on its attack roll?
No, it didn't. Because I thought my brain farted.
No, you're
We
good.
can say it's disadvantage next round or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll take disadvantage next round. From my brain thought you were getting advantage to hit it. But
You're good.
Yeah, that's okay.
sorry. Stupid.
Slow
I'm gonna
setting
ask
poison.
some questions anyway.
Slow acting poison. There you go. 19 hits for 6 points of damage. And that... Yeah, that is a lot of damage for it, but it is still barely up. You can tell, Sandbar, as you're grappled by this thing, it is weakening and sickly and not doing well at all. As this cold just like breaks away pieces of its exoskeleton. That is all of your turn, Janlar. You got something else?
No.
All right, perfect.
Making sure I can cast shield if I need to.
That does bring us around to Gorik. This thing has just poisoned you. It is surrounded in fairy fire and actual fire from Tom. What do you do?
I'm going to just take a step forward to here. And then I'm gonna cast Toll the Dead on the one right next to us.
All right. It makes a wisdom save or a con save?
I don't ever remember. I'm pretty sure it is wisdom.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
It fails, so
It
go
is
ahead and roll all that damage.
Yep. 1d12. Because it's taken damage already. It takes 10 points of necrotic damage.
10 points of necrotic damage. All right, the bells toll out. Doom. The Undertaker's dong sounds, and wounds are ripped open in the flesh of this creature. It begins to bleed out an ichor as it screams and shatters. Anything else with your turn there?
They're both looking pretty injured at this point.
Yes.
No
both
signs of
looking
new
pretty
ones
injured.
approaching.
None yet.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna burn a spell slot yet then.
Okay. Perfect. That brings us to Sandbar. Sandbar, you are grabbed in the mandibles of this failing creature. What do you do?
I'm gonna reach for my belt, grab out my hand axe, and ask him some questions.
All right. Please roll to hit with advantage.
Is it disadvantage because he's grappled? Wait, can you make attacks when you're grappled?
Yes.
You can.
And they are at advantage.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure.
15?
15. That does hit. Please roll damage.
Ignore the 10, so 7 damage.
7 damage. 7 is enough. Your axe comes crashing into the head of this creature, splitting it in half as the mandibles release you, fall to the ground, it no longer moving.
Alright, well, I'm gonna use my action surge, and I'm going to, since I've still got my bow in my other hand, I'm going to shoot this bad boy.
Alright.
with this
You
bow
action
there.
surge, throw down your axe, pull out your bow.
Yep.
Roll
And
damage.
18
18 hits.
takes 20 damage.
Whoa! All right. How
Fuck.
does your bow kill this creature?
I think it's just like when I shot that the green man in the head, right? You get that anime look over the shoulder as I pull the arrow back, and you just see the bolt. The camera follows the bolt as it just goes straight into it, and it files up and just goes flat, and then starts bleeding out.
Nice.
Leak and
Okay.
ooze.
All right.
I was envisioning it like Vats and Fallout, where you kill a giant scorpion and it just like slow mo, just
Millman,
goes
is
all,
your
like rubber physics.
is
it
your default
calculated?
bonus to hit 13?
Yes. Wait, hold up. What?
It's plus
Because
8.
you're at +8, but you're doing a sharpshooter shot. Do you really have +13 base?
He's probably +8, and then sharpshooters minus
Yeah.
another 5 from that.
I don't see
Yeah.
the minus in that roll though.
Well, then maybe I didn't hit. It's not working properly. God damn it!
I mean, wouldn't you have disadvantage anyways?
You know
or does
what?
it even out?
It's all good.
No, he would have had advantage because that one's in fairy
That
fire,
one's in fairy fire.
and he's not grappled anymore because the other one.
All
died.
right,
We'll
the
take
other
it.
one
Oh, yeah.
died before. No, it's okay.
I have to
Um,
figure out how to fix this. But
Yeah, it should be a 13 instead, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out.
But it should be.
Thank you.
This is why I don't use these sheets.
You should have +9 to hit at this point, Millman.
They're
Oh, no.
limited in their functionality, and they don't.
I just
always
type
easily
things
work.
in. I like typing things in
I
directly.
prefer it that way too. I have the sheets available for people that want to use them and like them. Go nuts, but I personally don't like them. All right, so that ends the battle. You guys are now quiet and still in front of this elemental cave where
Somebody's breathing
these
into their mic.
these dead bugs are now bleeding out on the ground in front of you.
Thomas, you wanted plate mail, did you not?
Potentially.
I kind of peel one of the smaller.
Yeah. No, these
plates
these look like onkegs, right?
Similar enough.
I have heard stories of onkeg plate being a very steadfast material. Let's definitely get to work on the sandbar. You're very good at dissecting creatures, aren't you?
Of course I am. That's my job.
Do you think you could
Something
recover
one-
some of these plates for us?
Yeah, give me a minute, and you see me flick the axe out. I'm like, let's get chopping.
Was anyone injured in the battle? Does anyone require help?
I'm feeling pretty worse for wear, and I look down, and there's like blood coming out of from where I've been crimped.
All right.
I'm down to 8 HP.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna.
Here, I'll take
Okay.
care of you help out Sandbar. I'll take care of Janlar.
I'm only down 5 though. So.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna spend while Sandbar's harvesting, which I imagine is gonna take a little bit. I'm just gonna cast Prayer of Healing.
Okay.
So
Everybody in the vicinity gets a mass heal, right?
yeah, it's up to 6. It takes 10 minutes to cast, so
Right.
it's not useful in
Yeah.
combat. But outside of combat,
All right. Yeah, you begin issuing a prayer to the grave. Tell me, what is it like when you cast Prayer of Healing? We haven't seen this yet.
it's true. I haven't cast it yet. So Gorik will sit down and he'll start to read out of his little prayer book. And as usual, as he's casting magic, he sort of fades into like that sort of skeletal resemblance of his sort of spirit, and sort of these like black tendrils kind of reach out and just start knitting together people's wounds as he does this.
Interesting.
Everyone in the party, because I'll just designate all 5, gains 17 hit points back.
All right.
Perfect.
I think the best roll I've ever had on roll 20.
You want to mark that one off for the bingo? Getting salty at roll 20.
The black tentacles reach through you and knit together the wounds of the party. You feel
Honestly, I think we could add black tentacles to the bingo board too.
you get a heal from beyond the grave that kind of chills you but leaves you refreshed afterwards. Sandbar, you take some time to harvest these critters here. I want you to make a survival dexterity check once again to harvest the carapace.
So that would be 12.
12. All right. You find that the first one with the sickly shell. The one that was hit by the ray of sickness is all but unharvestable at your skill level. You could not find anything useful. But this second one down here, you managed to retrieve a fair number of scales. You think that you have about 12 pounds of usable plate, or plate hide, or whatever you want to call it, from this creature.
There you go, Tom. I just plonk it at his feet. I can't carry it anymore, so you're gonna have to carry it.
All right, I'll be minorly encumbered. That's fine.
All right. Your movement speed has been reduced to 20 feet.
Isn't it 25 for the light?
20. It's 10 feet reduction.
Oh, it's down by
correct.
10? Okay, well, that kind of sucks.
Chandler, you've been encumbered for forever. Is it 5 or 10?
It's half, so it's 10.
There you go.
Okay.
It's not half.
I
Half
mean,
would be
I'm
exhaustion.
carrying Chandler's shit.
Oh, no, it's
That's
10. No,
why
you're
I'm
right.
in
It's 10.
command.
Okay, so I meant
Or you can go 30, so it's down to 20. So it's
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what I thought.
sorry, 10.
Well, all right. Let's hope we don't have to run too much in the near future.
All right.
I don't know what unencumbered is. I've been encumbered so long. I'm just
I have Sandbar carry all of my stuff so that I never have to worry about encumbrance.
So, the group of you enter once again this elemental cave and make your way through it. The slimes are still here, and their toxic clouds you can still smell. There are new holes in the walls of the cave. It looks like since the magic of the circle has left, creatures have burrowed in. There are just like a honeycomb of holes about the size of these creatures, burrowed their way through this cave. But as you step in, you see no other signs of these creatures. However, the mineral deposits along the walls seem to be largely eaten away, and they are the places where they were the densest before are now the places where the honeycomb of holes is most prominent. Eventually, you make your way down to the bottom of the cave, where you are greeted with the familiar sight of the broken circle that you beat to death with your with your weapons and magics, as it is no more. And the 5 of you see once again this shaft leading down into the darkness.
I'm like, all right, guys, put it on, and I just throw their fucking climbers kits on the ground. Get up, let's go. And I'm like setting it up so we can climb down. Alrighty, campers, you gotta put your straps on and then clip yourself in, make sure it's nice taut like. And then when I give you the rope end, you want to put it through the loop so you don't fall down the shaft. You with me?
Alrighty. Who's going down first?
Me.
You're
I
going
was to
down
say
first.
Gorik could go first.
I'll go second because I'm probably the second heaviest. So if I fall, I don't crush everyone. I only crush Sandbar.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna like all get on the rope and climb down at the same time, kind of.
Yeah, really the rope's for safety, and we're just gonna use the
Okay.
jagged edge to climb down.
Yeah, ropes should be able to handle 5. Yeah, no problem.
All right.
I'm carrying like max load 200 pounds.
Yeah, I was okay because you have to get like a lot of people involved. I was looking at like tug of war games that go bad, where if you get too many people tug of warring on a rope, it can snap and straight up kill people because of the recoil. But
That's
it takes
awesome.
a lot of people to make that happen.
Everybody
So much
at
like
home
that.
is like, that is fucking horrible. And I'm like, that is fucking awesome.
Yeah, I was
It
like,
happened in
I
an
asked
elementary
Millman
school. It
about
killed a
this.
bunch of kids because they were doing a giant school-wide tug of war and the rope snapped and the
Can you
recoiling
imagine being a
strands.
parent?
were-
You just get
Where's the physics teacher when you need him?
He was obviously not there that day. Anywho, do I have to roll? I want to know if I fall first.
No. You have come well prepared. All of you have climbing pythons and harnesses, and you are using these gloves and steel-tipped boots. You set up preparing. You climb down a number of feet, hammer in a python, secure the rope firmly, climb down some more. You continue just this slow, methodical trip down into the darkness below you. You have well over 200 feet of rope, so you are able to climb down in the 200-foot depth. What you find is that as you're climbing down, Sambar, first, and your party members above you following slowly down, you get to basically the edge of this pit. Below you, there's a drop of some amount into the darkness, but the steady walls that were square and straight down, the shaft has stopped at right around 180 feet.
I'm just gonna lean back so I don't catch the rope on fire, light a torch, and drop it.
All right, you harness yourself into lean back into your harnessed rope, plant your feet firmly, light a torch, hold it down, drop it. You see that you are suspended over a large room. Underneath you, there is what looks to be some kind of old forge or foundry of some kind. There is a obvious place to light a fire and a bellows, and you are looking around and you find yourself in what appears to be a very, very ancient foundry. Right, a very, very ancient place a blacksmith shop would remind you of that you met the dwarf in Sarmanath. But this place is old. The smell of must and age greets your nose. It is decorated sparsely, but you do see the remains of old dwarven work. There are shields and hammers and mauls on the wall, along with various other just kind of daily appliances as well, made of metal. You see a large anvil as well. All of this room is probably 25, 30 feet high. So you could just trail down the rest of your remaining rope, kind of hand over hand, to make it to the floor without falling. You find yourself in here. There's a single door leading out to the left, and it seems the shaft was meant to release whatever fumes and smokes came from the process of working in here.
I like that they were releasing the fumes into another cave. Like,
That's somebody else's problem then.
Yeah,
That's
like,
an
it's not
American idea right there.
it's not like they're venting it into open air. They just vent it into another cave somewhere else, which is only useful as long as they have volume of other cave.
That is actually really bad the more I think about it, because
Yeah.
it would just settle in the top cave, and then you'd wait for it to cool down, and then just pump more in there.
Right.
Horrible for whatever lives in the top cave, but oh well. It's the war.
And not particularly useful for the people below it, because eventually that's going to fill and just start backing up down their vent shaft.
This is Greg's world. It would never do that.
Yeah, I've played enough Oxygen Not Included to know that this is going to be a problem eventually for these
Or
colonists.
perhaps it was an open cave and
At
it was
some point.
closed over time.
Yeah.
Anywho, do you feel at home in here, Gork? I mean, it's a bit claustrophobic as I'm like looking up and I can nearly touch the if I really wanted to, I could probably touch the roof.
You said it was like 20 or 30 feet up, did you?
Yeah, but for a cave, it's kind of small.
This is clearly not a cave, right? As you come down this shaft, this is carved out of stone.
Mhm.
Right? This is built. This is made, manufactured.
I will cast light on my shield.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. I didn't want to hold a torch. That would have sucked.
Light
No,
radiates
until-
out from your shield, filling the
Until
room.
we know-
Sandbar's oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, until we know what sort of gases we're dealing with, open flames may not be super wise.
Good point.
Have Sandbar's horns started to grow back?
No, it's winter. They don't grow
Okay.
back until the end of winter when the skin grows back around the base of them. So
I was
no,
gonna light up your horns.
That
Cruel
would
man,
be
you.
great.
Summer will come, or spring, and then we're good.
Hmm.
So you said there's a door, right?
Mhm.
Let's move for the door.
Dan, you're DMing me. You need to put it to everyone. He does have the magic globe.
I was just letting you know in case you want to use it.
Ah,
It's in my bag.
how does it work?
That's what I was letting you know. I was trying to DM it to you, but it's
Ah.
you cast light at will, or daylight once a day.
Interesting. I can use that later. Yeah, because I have your shit. That's right. Never mind.
That's why I was DMing just you, but not everybody else. It's just because.
All right.
So
We
yeah,
go
I
to
guess
the door.
All
between
right.
the Drift Globe, Goric, and Tom, we can get up to 3 instances of light going.
Yeah, I can also throw on daylight as well because I have that auto memorized.
All right. So the 5 of you make it down into this foundry, and decide to open the door and continue on into the Amber Halls. It opens up into a passageway that Goric, you are probably fairly familiar with. You didn't come from this hall, but dwarven halls hold a similar, structure. The hallways are large and grand, even to places like where you would work. Across the hall, the ceiling goes up another, 30 or 40 feet at all times. Sconces line the hallway. They're places to hold kind of these large torches or light stones or whatever else that this particular hall has. All of them are empty at this point in time. There are doors leading off into other abodes, very similar to the one that you crawled down into. As you kind of poke your head in and look through these hallways, you seem to quickly realize that you're in kind of a, business area of the hall. This part of the Amber Hall is where dwarves manufactured, made steel, made mithril, made whatever it was that they needed for their days. You assume that there are probably living quarters in here as well. If you step off different doors, people often lived close to where they worked in the halls. As you make your way down this hall,
Is it all abandoned?
Yes.
There are
yes.
no goods still in any of the stores, and it just looks.
There are, much like the workshop that you crawled down the shaft into, there's sparse decorations and things hanging on walls occasionally. That one had some hammers and shields and other mundane items. And you can see similar things here where there would be items left over. But there's no personable living items here, right?
Okay.
It seems that whatever was left was not of personal use when the dwarves of the Amber Hall left it.
All right. Let us know if we spot anything that looks particularly valuable or interesting that got forgotten. Nobody finished a suit of mithril scale mail and then just nobody ever bought it before the
In
hall.
Tom's thighs.
It's still sitting there.
The
on its
shopkeeper's
display
still
stand.
sitting behind his counter waiting for the buyer.
Yeah, there's just a skeleton sitting there. Just
No, there is no unfinished or mostly finished plate of mithril.
Oh, I'm happy for just scraps. If you
I was gonna say, yeah,
just scrap
even-
mithril-
Yeah, if you find any mithril ingots or anything
Yeah,
like that, let us
All right,
know.
you are searching for mithril metal, and sadly,
or adamantine or
sadly you
Oh, I
have
want
found
that.
no magical metals.
residuum.
Yeah.
Or a calcum.
Yeah.
No. You've seen none of that up to this point. The hall opens up into one of the kind of larger dwarven culture, as you know it, is separated into different halls, right? And so out from each one of these halls is little ones like this, where shops or living quarters or tombs or whatever may be. And then there's a centralized open area. And then above that, there would be a higher caste's open area, and above that and below that would be a lower caste's. You exit this hall into kind of one of a large grand scale. There are statues of dwarves rising up 60 feet up into this kind of open air, looking down out into this hall. There are crisscrossing bridges and roads across of it, with some of them ending in kind of large tables, some of them ending in large gathering areas. This is the hall for the cast of working dwarves. There's a lot of iconography of the forge, of hammers, of steel, across the kind of the great walls around you. The bridges lead up through this open space into other kind of offshoot walls around the Amber Hall. This entire area has kind of crystals growing in patterns around the walls, right? And so where the dwarven statues are and where some of the iconography is made, it seems like patches of crystal were grown in a pattern to kind of mirror them, to become a part of that architecture and masonry. They are amber and they glow and give off kind of a soft amber light that fills the area. Of note, the greatest kind of central bridge opens up into a large square, probably 100 by 100 feet. Gorik, you recognize the telltale signs of kind of like a open air market for dwarves. These are kind of low stone outcroppings that would have been housed by people to trade whatever wares that they've made in kind of an open place for anyone of the cast that came to here to purchase them. They all lie kind of empty and barren for the moment. At the very far end of it, of course, is a traditional what do you call it when you stack up barrels to age them? There's a dwarven ale at every one of these halls. They line up large barrels and keep them aged and pass them out. As we know, dwarven ale is essential to breathing the kind of fumed and nitrogen-rich air inside these great halls, especially as your cast gets higher and you go deeper into the mountain hall. So it is traditional that in these markets they have these dwarven ales available to be passed out.
So there's light from the crystals.
Mm-hmm.
So looking for light isn't going to do much because there are light sources. But can we hear anything besides our party? Is there any sound?
No, you are in complete silence in this large hall under the earth.
I'll sort of turn to the group and I'll say, do we try and be subtle, or do we see if anything comes if we make a loud noise?
I can make a loud noise.
If anything comes, I could blow them up with a fireball, so maybe the loud noise is a good option.
All right.
Yeah, we can go either way.
I heard no dissenting opinions. Gorik is going to cast Thaumaturgy and just holler into the cave. If any survive, a servant of Ungral comes to take your reckoning.
All right. Your voice rings out loud in the cavernous room. What was once silent is now filled with the reverberating sound of Gorik's voice as it echoes throughout the hall and rings into various corridors. After some time, the reverberations fall still and silent. You're once again standing alone in this cavernous hall.
While we're standing there, you just see Sambar reach from his pack and start chewing on some jerky from one of these ration packs. He's like, I guess there's no one here. Let's go. You know your best way around one of these places. Can you kind of just lead us to where we need to go? I don't like being in caves for some reason.
My optimistic young friend, I find it more likely that the dungeon master hasn't finished loading the rest of the dungeon in yet.
Oh, okay. Well, do we want to drink some of that ale after his description about how we shouldn't breathe in all these sulfurs and shit?
We can see if it's still good.
Hell yeah, I'm all about drinking. Tom,
I am.
booze!
Yeah.
Tom, booze!
Personally, I'm more of a wine person, but if ale's
You said
ale's
that-
all we got, then ale's all we got.
You walk your way through the cavernous hall, your footsteps ringing out and coming back to you.
Firebringer, be careful around Dwarven Ale. The spirit is highly flammable.
Noted.
You find that the kegs are mostly rotten and decaying. You do find some that are still intact and still seem to be sealed. You puncture one to see what's inside, and you get the foul smell of both mold and rot and the kind of sharp sourness of vinegar and separated alcohol from the contents as it spills out on the floor around you.
Are you sure you want to drink this?
No,
Like,
nobody should drink this.
purify it. Isn't that a thing clerics do?
I actually don't think clerics... Do clerics get purify food and drink?
I don't think so. I don't think.
Oh, they
this-
do. It's first level spell.
Oh, I don't have it memorized, so. Whoops.
Yeah, I don't have it either.
Unless you want to come back tomorrow, Sambar.
I mean, we might be down here a while, but
Can we ritual cast it? Because then I could, couldn't I?
I think you have to have it prepared still in order to
Mhm.
ritual cast it.
Oh.
Oh well, let's go find some more booze. We going up or down? Where does your book be kept?
So nothing's approaching us after I made the noise, so I would head towards wherever the burial hall would be, I guess, Greg.
All right. You know that the burial hall is a tradition that, even though is a very high caste, is low in the mountain. It is tradition to bury your ancestors as close to the heart of the mountain as possible. And so you would climb down from this hall.
All right.
We try to get that deep. We might have trouble with the sulfur, though. We might need to find a way to breathe the air before we go all the way down.
How does the air smell, Greg? Is it...
Probably like home to you. Like you recognize the smell of kind of deep earth. It isn't as potent here as it was perhaps in your hall, as there are not the large amount of miners and those and dwarves living here. But you do smell the nitrogens and sulfurs and fumes of deep in the mountain.
Perhaps we can simply have Rose turn herself into a canary, and that can be our warning.
And then she
So when I
dies.
fall down dead, that's the warning?
Yeah, well, I mean, your hit points
I
would
know.
recover. You'd revert to druid form after dying as a canary, so...
I don't think I'm not sure how I feel about this.
It seems like a great plan to me.
I'm not a fan.
Although, if there isn't much oxygen in the air, wouldn't any fire that we create go out rather quickly?
Yeah, how about we use a torch instead of using my body to find out whether we're dying?
Problem with that is the ratio of oxygen to gas. So the light will start to go out, then ignite the whole fucking area as it's the
Right,
perfect
you've got
ratio.
two problems. One, the torch is consuming oxygen that we need, and two, if you hit an explosive pocket of anything, the fire would ignite it. Canaries
Well, I mean,
don't
presumably
tend to
it's not
ignite
an issue of there being
flammable
explosive gases. It's there being a dearth of reactive gases like oxygen. Right, it's that
I
it's
mean-
mostly nitrogen infused.
I could turn into something that can smell really well, and I can tell you if something smells off if you want me to.
I like the canary idea. That was a good plan.
I'm saying no to the canary.
Can she
I don't
turn
want you
into
to
a
die,
crippled
Rose.
canary so that she doesn't have a fly speed?
I'll settle for an emu, maybe a cassowary.
There you go.
Yeah, I still think turning it into the small mammal, and when it drops dead, we know to turn back. That was I like that plan. Does that work for you, Rose?
I mean, we could always send Janlaw. He has the same hit bar ratio.
Yeah, that's true. He does have as many hit points as a small
I
mammal
love the
right
idea.
now.
We're gonna be fine, but once the canary's dead, it's already too late for Janlar.
Yeah.
I love you, Janlaw. Don't die on me.
We're probably most of the problems from miners are by creating or uncovering gas pockets. Unless the environment around us is changed by something, the air down here should be fairly stable.
Well, we could also just go rest in the entrance room and come back tomorrow. That is a thing that we can still do. And then I can purify one of the still sealed kegs, and we'd have some dwarven ale to protect us. Does that? Would you guys rather be safe than sorry?
I feel
Wait,
like
Dwarven Ale protects us from what again?
Wasn't that the story that Greg told? Is that you drink the dwarven
Yeah,
ale to
so
help you?
the dwarven ale is made in such a way and is so potent as to thin out your blood and allow you to breathe in these gases a little bit better. Prevents things like the bends and whatnot.
I could purify a sealed keg tomorrow morning.
Does that get
no
rid
issue.
of the alcohol?
No, but it will despoil it, unspoil it.
It
should
removes
get
poison
rid of
and
the ball.
diseases.
Yeah.
Oh, so
We
we'll
can
get rid of
drink
the
it.
alcohol. I mean, it would still. Oh, it might not work though.
I don't
would there be
think
somewhere?
I don't think the spell is intended to remove the alcohol, right? You would
Yeah.
cast purify food and drink on poisoned wine, right?
Right. Yeah, I think it's more about removing like the deadly poison.
Yeah, I
or,
don't
Like,
I don't think that's the intention of the spell.
Just turns
Okay.
it into juice.
Just nice.
Pass
Great.
on the wine and you get
Does the
fruit punch.
job. It's just yucky water that helps us breathe. I'm down.
Right.
Right.
Look, I can. Why don't we just go back and do it tomorrow? That way we don't have to use Rose as a as a sacrifice.
As a literal
You're
canary.
the only one that wants to turn her into a canary. I think we could just rough it out and see how we go. And if it starts going shit, we
Well,
can
the-
just pull back
No,
anyway.
because if
Where's the ale brewed usually, Greg?
Brewers are a caste that is the same as merchants. So you came from like the workshop caste, the merchant caste hall. That was more foundry, iron, whatever. One of these halls here would hold brewers.
Let's go find a brewing.
We could look for the brewer's hall. Perhaps they have
Oh.
something in the more sealed container.
the ones here were sealed and they still spoil. I think it's just the passage of time has been so long. I don't know if we're going to find anything that well
Yeah, we
protected.
just need a keg, like a metal keg, an aluminum keg. That's what we need.
Yeah, let's
What,
go find
aluminium?
us some hard aluminium liquor. Let's do this.
We can just go back and rest one night, and then I can solve this whole problem. And then we don't have to worry about dropping dead on the spot to inert gas asphyxiation, which is apparently a painless way to go, but we won't see it coming. Once we know, it's already too late.
I'm pretty
I
constitutional.
don't think the GM will kill us with inert gas asphyxiation, but if this is something that we're actually
I was gonna say
concerned
I don't think Greg wants that to be his TPK.
But we already spent 15 minutes discussing this. I think we need to let's just follow through. Let's go back. Let's rest one night. I'll get my one spell slot that I burned back, and then I can purify the keg tomorrow, and we'll have some safety measures to prevent us from dying on the spot.
Yeah,
All right.
why not? Sounds better than the canary idea to me.
I agree, Rose. Also, I can check out this bow to your recommendation of trying to attune to it.
Do we even need to go back though? Like, are we like kind of close enough?
I mean, it was a nice room back there. You know, it was a nice little greeting room.
Okay.
There should I'll tell you, there should be living quarters in the merchant area that we came through. That'll be
Let's go
close
there.
enough to
Perfect.
the air shaft and perhaps more comfortable than sleeping in an empty room.
Perfect.
All right.
Perfect.
You make your way back into the hall, find, with Gorik's help, some living quarters near the craftsman's wares and their tools for building things. You find a set of rooms that are abandoned and empty, much like everything else in here. There's some small furniture left behind and things built into the walls. A few decorations hang, but very little of a human touch has seen this place for over 1,000 years. And so you sleep for the night. All of you sleep fairly soundly.
By the way, I would cast as a way to. I would cast alarm on like a door. Is it on an entranceway? I don't know what alarm is.
I think you put it in an area, and anything that enters the area triggers the alarm.
Yeah, so the
So you just
door,
put it at the
window, or
doorway.
area within a range no larger than 20-foot cube. So if there's any I would just be casting alarm every night. Sort of.
Okay, you cast alarm in your room and know that if anything were to cross your barrier, you will be alerted. So, 4 of you sleep very peacefully throughout the night and have very little going on. Goric, however, when you lay your head down here in the Amber Hall, you get a dream of Ungral. And Ungral, you can tell, is upset. Something is wrong here. And you dream of tombs defiled by greedy fingers and small hands, stealing away the precious treasures that were interned in the tombs. And you feel that below you, there is righteous retribution to be had. And these dreams kind of stick with you throughout the night until you awake in the morning.
Okay. I'll ask Tom. I'll be like, Lightbringer,
Yes.
does your god speak to you?
Sometimes.
Mine has this night.
Oh?
Something has defiled the tombs below us. Grave robbers.
I see. Is there a reason you were told? I assume this communication wouldn't come without a reason.
I suspect we are to set things right. There may be some fires to, well, I would say put out, but perhaps starting them will accomplish our task just as well.
Well, I have the tools to do just that.
Greg, in the morning, can I attempt to attune to the bow?
Yes, you attune to the bow.
Cool. Does anything happen?
It's a bow, man. You can use it. It's got magic. You don't know what it
Okay.
does, but you attune to it. It is a bow that requires an attunement slot. So you do feel a resonance to the bow.
Doesn't attuning to an item tell you what it does?
You gotta identify it, man. Like,
Okay.
You've put no effort in identifying the bow. You just shot an arrow with it, right? So no.
Okay.
I don't like the idea of, like, I pet my magic thing for an hour and now I know what it is, right? And I know that that's in the rules, but, like,
They wanted to do both things in the D&D 5e rules. They were like, we want it to be easy, but we also want the option to have a cost.
like if you wanted to try to identify it and experiment with it, like, we could make this happen, right? But you've shot an arrow twice.
That's fair.
Right.
I feel like the idea with it is that if you identify it first, you're at less risk of, like, accidentally attuning yourself to a cursed item. But at the same time, identify doesn't tell you if an item is cursed, which means that they totally...
There was no point, yeah.
Right, yeah, they totally miss that whole, like, you can find out what it does by attuning to it, but that might be dangerous, and it's like...
I'll tell you what, Sambar, you clearly want to know. Give me
I do, but I'm happy to
give
wait.
me an Arcana check. Right? You've
Okay.
attuned, you spent an hour petting your bow. You're gonna give me an Arcana check. We'll see if your pets led you to a higher mystery. No, you
I'm
don't
fine
know.
waiting.
You don't know what it is.
It's fine. We might
Alright.
find some pearls or something down here. You never know.
All right.
Oh, sarcasm is so good. All right. So, did you remember / attune to your spells so we can drink
Yes.
some ale?
I prepared them, as it's known in this edition.
I don't know. I'm not a cleric.
Yeah, I have purify food and drink. You took a prayer of healing, right? Right, Goric?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
got prayer of
I had that yesterday, and I was like, oh, guess I don't need that one. All right, so yeah, I'll go find one of the.
Are
one
we
of the
sure Tom's actually a cleric and isn't just like a fire sorcerer in disguise?
Yeah, he's actually an evocation wizard who's just all...
At this point, yeah, basically, like 90% of my spellcasts are I shoot Scorching
All
Ray
right,
at it.
so you return to the massive hall, the hall of the craftsmen.
Does anything in here look like it's changed since last night?
Give me an investigation check.
Any sign of creatures or anything like that? I was about to look for a die to pick up, and then I remembered that we use Roll20, and I have to do it this way. Oh, I don't have a negative to this. It's not dexterity. Am I trained in investigation?
I don't know. Are you?
It depends on how,
Yeah,
because we don't have deliberate like ties to attributes, so you might get wisdom potentially.
In this case, I want you to use intelligence.
Intelligence investigation is
Yeah.
+4, so 14.
Alrighty, so you take a look around, and sure enough, there are a significant change. There's one significant change that you can see. You had counted the barrels of dwarven ale here that were available to you, and you see that one is missing.
Somebody's drinking the hooch.
Somebody's still living here, but this is not good alcohol, so they either have someone to purify it or some sort of creature that doesn't care.
Goblins, maybe?
Or it's possible maybe another cleric is down there in
Yes,
front of us.
I guess we'll find out.
Sambar, can
Cleric
you
of
find any
silver.
tracks? Can you track it?
I can give it a go. It's pretty dusty down here. Can I roll for it?
You're going to try to track the creature. Go for it. Give me a survival wisdom check.
Boom. 22.
Damn.
All right. Sure enough, you do pick up the tracks. Even in, especially I guess, in a cave system under the ground, it appears that dust does form, even very slightly. And you find in the dust just light scratches and light. What my vocab is escaping me like crazy today.
Footprints?
No, disturbance, for lack of
Ah,
actual vocab. That's not a real word, but we're making it up.
Disturbances?
Disturbances! You find disturbances in the dust that you can trace back. And as you follow these disturbances in the dust intermittently throughout the hall here, you see that eventually it leads down to a bridge that takes you lower into a deeper cast hall.
All right,
Okay.
well, we better get this booze.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and purify one of these kegs, one of the still not
right.
rotted through kegs.
You spend some time to find a sealed still keg, and you cast your magic to purify food and drink, leaving the keg.
let me see if we have to like
poison and
pour it out
disease.
first, and then I have to, because I don't know how much it actually does.
All
Uh,
non-magical.
5 foot
food
radius
That's
sphere,
5 foot
so I think that
radius
can get the
sphere.
whole keg.
That'll do it.
Yeah, because that's a 10-foot diameter sphere. So
Yeah.
that's a
That'll do
lot
it.
of food and drink.
Okay.
You untap it and pour it out, and you still see that it is spoiled by age, but is drinkable. You get that smell of separated ale and vinegary, alcohol-y.
Well,
mess.
Drinking the bottom half, the top. Oh wait, the middle half. The bottom half is not the part you want. Trust me.
Poke a hole in the middle. Just-
Yeah.
You just get a straw. Just
All right.
You know what?
yeah, it's
That's
it's not gonna be
the
great,
word.
but
The dwarven ale is spoiled by age, but you can drink it.
So we fill a couple wineskins up.
I'm just gonna drink it straight from the source and just start chugging some.
yeah, I'd probably find a mug somewhere and just down a little bit.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll drink some and then fill a water skin up with some then.
I look
Okay.
very, very miserable
Don't worry.
as I drink some of it. Like,
This is even worse than usual ale.
Oh.
Poor Rose. Poor Rose.
Still tastes better than the curse I had. Everything tastes great.
Oh yeah, you have no longer the problem of just the ashen feel of food in your mouth.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
even bad food tastes good right
Yeah,
now.
you're just like, oh my goodness, the best ale
I can
ever.
taste again.
It tastes so sour and vinegary and awful, but I can drink it.
Yeah, that's it. I can taste something.
All
This
right.
is great.
So all of you are drunk on dwarven ale, 1,000-year-old ale purified of poison.
This
and
is
disease.
proper Dwarf Fortress gameplay right here.
Is there any negative to being drunk?
You aren't. I doubt you drink enough to get drunk. You have drunk from.
Sandbar.
I wasn't sure.
Very
You said
much
it was
so.
heavily spirited.
It.
Yeah,
Well,
I was
it
a
is.
lightweight.
All right.
Would you like to
Let's-
be drunk, Janlar? Did you
I
drink
think,
enough to be
honestly,
drunk?
with how frail and tiny Janlar is, he might be drunk. Probably doesn't take much to get him drunk.
Probably a lightweight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Secretly, he has a liver of stone, and he's just like, I'm sober, and the whole rest of the party is just wasted.
I feel like a stone liver would be very useless.
I don't think he
Practical
literally.
Not like.
No, I don't drink enough to get drunk.
All right, guys, we are getting nowhere fast. Let's move on.
Let's follow the tracks now that we've imbibed our anti gases.
We're at 351. We can't even do the encounter. I have.
We're look, now you need to let us burn like 3 more minutes so that we can find the thing and then cliffhanger the encounter again.
I mean, like, all right. You guys make your way down into the hall below, and here below we'll just like delete half of the dwarven hall here. You guys make your way down, and you find yourself at the hall of the entombed, right? The hall of memories, as it were. Here, as you make your way down this bridge, it opens up into a long, grand hallway, and each hall past this has a large statue of a different dwarf bearing a crest, showing the very many families of the dwarves here. It is common for most dwarven halls to trace their lineage back to a handful of great families, probably no more than 30, no less than 15 or so. This hall here is no exception. There are great families of lineage here, of about 30 strong, going down each hall, leading out into the tombs of other lesser members of the family. The closer you are to the great statue in the front is kind of a place of honor, but also a place of memory, right? Those are the ones that came before. It is rare that you're buried in front of your fathers or your grandfathers. Beyond the great 30 halls, there's kind of a general where those of a lower caste are entombed or buried. And while that hall is numerous in graves traditionally, it is only because it's like the sum of everyone else. Most dwarves try to lay claim to one of the great families of the hall. As you make your way down here, you can hear echoing through the hall up to you as you descend down here, noises of feet on stone kind of skittering across. You can just hear it echoing in the otherwise complete silence of the tomb back to you, and you know that you're not alone down here.
This is where the tracks led was down here, right? We're still following them. Okay.
Yes. And it is down here where you will kind of lose track of these specific tracks, Sambar, as the kind of stillness and dust and untouchedness of the hall above you has gone away. And you are now alone. You are now in a room that has seen more use, right? The dust that you were following has largely gone.
And then a small hologram appears, and it's a little girl in red saying, "You're all going to die down here."
No,
What?
that doesn't happen.
Be wary of traps.
Well, you lead, because I'm not about stepping on a trap today.
Ungral told me that the defilers were small-handed and small-minded. These tracks we have been following seem skittery and scratchy.
There were claw marks, right? Could be kobolds.
It is very possible. Kobolds and dwarves do not have a good history. It would not be at all surprising if a nest of the creatures had invaded this ruin after their betters had moved on.
Be very careful then. Kobolds can be ingenious sometimes.
Ugh.
When it comes to making your day
Give them
miserable,
too
at
much
least.
credit.
All right. Well, I'll lead, and I guess I'm gonna.
I thought you said I'll leave.
Wait.
Goodbye.
I'll see you guys later.
Yes.
No, I'll leave.
If we're now concerned about traps, we're going a little bit old school here. Looking around, do I see any 10-foot poles?
No, you didn't bring one with you. You didn't get one.
We are so fucked, guys.
No, not in this hall here, right? As you descend this great bridge down, you are kind of in another large open space, and there are halls where people are buried, and you know in dwarven culture they're often buried with their with some amount of wealth or possessions. So it is possible you could find 10-foot poles in the burial chambers here, or something that would facsimilize one.
Okay, I'm not going to detour us to find one, but if I see anything that would substitute at any point, let me know. I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we'll pick that up, and then I'll go and add this to the shopping list for the future that we need a proper 10-foot pole with a chicken on the end, like all good.
Is it common for burial halls to be defended by traps? Or is it just assumed that the dwarves would defend the halls themselves?
It is mostly assumed that the dwarves would defend the halls themselves, but the burial places of kings and queens and those of particular wealth or those of particular power may have been buried with other precautions. It is not unheard of to seal some magic away with them as well.
All right. If it's not common for dwarven tombs to be trapped, then I probably did not prepare find traps today.
Well, no, because you prepared what you prepared at the beginning of the day, right?
Well, we just rested though, so my spell list would have just updated. But no, I'll keep my default out adventuring spell list. Although Tom and I should probably talk about what spells we typically.
Yeah,
prepare.
I'll coordinate with you more in the future because I had a lot of overlap with you yesterday.
Yeah.
All right.
So who's leading?
Well, I'm gonna lead. I'm gonna roll stealth check first to make sure I'm not making too much noise for kobolds to know exactly where I'm standing, so they can ambush me while I'm standing in the middle of a trap and haven't triggered it yet.
All right. Go ahead and roll some stealth, I guess, as you creep your way forward down this bridge
don't worry,
into the
it's
Great
useless.
Hall.
All
All
right.
right.
So,
They
You
could
see-
still roll an 8.
You
on their
see,
percentage.
you see Sambar crouch low and begin to stalk his way off of this bridge into the hall itself. His hoof his hoof steps causing just ever slight echoes, but he is doing his best to minimize their noise through the hall. You continue to hear the steps around you echoing back through it to you.
yeah, I'll lead. And I turn back. I'm like, whereabouts are we going? I don't know what I'm looking for. Am I looking for a shrine, or am I looking for just a book in the middle of the floor? Because that would be really convenient if it's just there on the floor.
Just
Not sure. Gork, what are we looking for?
Any signs of grave robbers? Honestly, we'll see if we can find where the skittering noises is coming from. If there are any tombs that look like they've been pillaged. I'm not 3rd level yet, so I can't cast Speak with Dead on any of the corpses, or 5th level yet to cast Speak with Dead. So
that is a capability I'll have in the future, as in tomorrow.
Oh boy, am I glad we're prepared to go to tombs today.
right.
Listen,
Yeah, I get it as a domain spell, but I have to hit level 5 first.
I'm so
Gork,
sorry,
Gork,
It's okay.
What are we here for?
It's okay. We're at 4 o'clock. We're 1 minute to 4 o'clock. You guys have taken 1 step into the tomb.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Quick, I'll just run 10 feet.
Should we just end here and like do the tomb next time?
I guess so. That's fine. I don't want to just like fast forward Millman down the hall and be like, all right, and then you see something, and now we're done. All right, guys.
As we take our first steps into the tomb, that's what we're calling.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and call it there. All right.
There you go.
Oh shit, guys. All right.
Slow
Well,
and
I'm sorry to everyone
Professionals.
watching.
I would give you XP today, but you didn't fight anything.
We did. We fought 2
We
Wonkids.
did. We fought
You
2 large
did.
insect creatures.
You did. Never mind. Never mind. You're gonna get XP anyway. All right.
It
You
won't
fought
be
2
enough.
onkegs. You didn't really do any exploration. or any.
We did do a successful surgery and dispel a very complex magical curse.
You did do that. That was unexpected. All right. I will give you some experience for that.
Did we do anything else that was really cool?
We purified some ale and then drank it.
I was just trying to give y'all some like flavor, and then it became like
I had
A 20-minute
a
discussion on inert gas asphyxiation.
I had a feeling that it was just. I had a feeling that that's just what like what dwarves believed, and it was completely bullshit. But that was.
I don't know if it's bullshit or not. Look, the lore is like, why is dwarven ale important to dwarven society, right? I thought that it would be cool if dwarven ale helped you combat the like gases of living
just
under a
drunk,
mountain,
can't
right?
feel your degree.
And so
Yeah,
I was
that
just
makes
giving you some like flavor of like dwarven society. I'm like, this is a cool thing that I think of, and then you were like, we're gonna die.
Yeah. Everybody panicked.
Everyone panic. We're gonna die.
I really think it's okay. I don't think Greg wants his TPK legacy to include asphyxiation.
I was willing to follow you, assuming that you knew what.
Okay, in my defense, I love getting hung up on little details.
No,
like
it's
that.
fine. It's fine. I actually
would have guessed.
Nobody noticed. It's okay.
I
Oh my
actually
God.
had a lot of fun. You guys are when you guys stick around, it's good. I enjoy dicking around in D&D just as much as the next guy. It's fine. It's totally
Every
fine.
time I suggest that I turn into something, everybody's like, "Oh no, we don't really need that. Oh no, that's fine." And then people are like, "You totally turn into a canary," and I'm like, "No."
To be fair, I meant that as a stupid one-off joke.
Yep. And then everybody jumped the bad
Yeah,
way.
and I
Good
was like-
idea.
I was like, this doesn't need to go anywhere except a kind of funny one-liner, and then everybody's like, "Oh no, that'd be great." I'm like, this is not what I want to do to poor Faye.
Alrighty. So
You
I
need to become
want
something else
I
like
want
Bongo.
the 5 of you to take home 230 experience.
Yeah.
Damn. Still not enough.
Nope.
Sorry, what total does that put us at again? Oh no, wait, I think I have it. It's 60.
Track your experience, Sean.
Well, it got awkward because I was missing for a few sessions.
Yeah. Alrighty.
It's 62.56, right?
Dan,
You're muted,
You're
Dan.
muted, Dan.
Sorry, how much did we get this time?
230.
So Millman and I should be at 6330.
Wait, what? You're ahead of me?
If you're 5th level, you have to be above 6,500 because that's what 5th level is.
Dan, what are you at? I think I got the wrong person's XP total.
You're at 6756.
Thank you.
That is what I have as well, just for confirmation.
All right.
I have it listed. It's recorded. I'm saving the sheet right now. I'm back on track.
I'm gonna have to like take control of Sean's character sheet.
No, it's just because I was missing for like 3 sessions straight, and then I got the wrong number when I came back.
All right.
Greg
All
just
right.
have to have a spreadsheet somewhere that just tracks each character's XP individually. He'll have to go back through all the Seekers sessions and like figure out how much XP he gave everyone.
I as a DM don't like tracking all of your guys' stuff. I will if like you're new to it or you need help.
Mhm.
But when I have experienced players, I tend to be like, track it, man. Do it yourself. Anyway,
Yep.
there's 230 experience. I hope you guys had a lot of fun. Because I,
Yep.
despite the fact
Despite
you
we got
did
nowhere.
nothing this session, it
learned a
was
lot of spells.
enjoyable.
Yep.
It was enjoyable. I had a good time, so I hope you did too. Do you guys want to shout anything out before we close the stream?
Yeah, I apologize to our 15 listeners. It's not going to get better, I'll be honest. I think this is just kind of how we are.
Yeah, I have no apology whatsoever.
Shout out to the one person though who was like, "Oh my god, I really wish they would have gone down that mining shaft and explored that dwarven city. I was really into that, and now they've just moved on. I'm so disappointed." This is for you.
They
This
probably
is for
stopped
you.
listening 8 episodes ago
Right.
because we didn't explore the thing they wanted.
If you're still around, let us know.
Yeah.
We're doing this for you.
And all the people who are like, I hate mineshaft arcs. They're the ones who stuck around, and now
Yeah.
we've just come back to.
Yeah,
to
we've alienated that portion of the audience too now. So the only people still listening are the people who tune in for the beginning of the episode when we talk about basketball. Because
That's the one thing we're consistent on.
yeah,
Good. All right. Well, shout outs done, it seems.
Yeah, make sure you guys tweet questions for the LU Q&A if you have questions about the show. We're looking for questions to answer. So if you have questions about the League of Ultimate Questing podcast that I play in, make sure you tweet those to @slapthedash or email them to admin@slap-studios.com.
Cool.
There you go. He's like a professional. He plugs like crazy.
I was gonna
It's great.
say, like, he's got it down.
I gotta like
That's
hire
double
Mike
plug.
to plug me. That sounds gross. We're moving past that. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. We will explore some mountains then. Bye.
Bye.